am Pastor Misty Howick, an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church. I serve at New Song United Methodist Church in Surprise, Arizona, which is in the Phoenix Valley. Today we are continuing to look at Proverbs, and I'm looking at chapter 17, and some surprising verses in here. Some also not surprising verses, but I really like some of the comparisons that we have here in this chapter. So let's go ahead and jump into reading chapter 17, and then like yesterday and the day before, I'm pulling out some notes from the Jewish Study Bible to help us understand a little bit of what's inside chapter 17, and I also point out a couple of themes that I noticed in it as well. So here you are. Better is a dry morsel with quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. A slave who deals wisely will rule over a child who acts shamefully and will share the inheritance as one of the family. The crucible is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. An evildoer listens to wicked lips, and a liar gives heed to a mischievous tongue. Those who mock the poor insult their Maker. Those who are glad at calamity will not go unpunished. Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and the glory of children is their parents. Excess speech is not becoming to a fool, still less is false speech to a ruler. A bribe is like a magic stone in the eyes of those who give it. Wherever they turn, they prosper. One who forgives an affront fosters friendship, but one who dwells on disputes will alienate a friend. A rebuke strikes deeper into a discerning person than 100 blows into a fool. Evil people seek only rebellion, but a cruel messenger will be sent against them. Better to meet a she-bear robbed of its cubs than to confront a fool immersed in folly. Evil will not depart from the house of one who returns evil for good. The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so stop before the quarrel breaks out. One who justifies the wicked and one who condemns the righteous are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Why should fools have a price in hand to buy wisdom when they have no mind to learn? A friend loves at all times, and kinsfolk are born to share adversity. It is senseless to give a pledge to become surety for a neighbor. One who loves transgression loves strife. One who builds a high threshold invites broken bones. The crooked of mind do not prosper, and the perverse of tongue fall into calamity. The one who fathers a fool gets trouble. The parent of a fool has no joy. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a downcast spirit dries up the bones. The wicked accept a concealed bribe to pervert the ways of justice. The discerning person looks to wisdom, but the eyes of a fool to the ends of the earth. Foolish children are a grief to their father and bitterness to her who bore them. To impose a fine on the innocent is not right, or to flog the noble for their integrity. One who spares words is knowledgeable. One who is cool in spirit has understanding. Even fools who keep silent are considered wise. When they close their lips, they are deemed intelligent. So there's our 28 verses of chapter 17 in Proverbs today. What do we have to learn from chapter 7 today? So some themes that run through this chapter are the themes of quiet and silent versus loud, boisterous, or wordy. The quiet, silent, and concise are considered wise or desirable, and the other is not. So loud, boisterous, and wordy are not considered wise. There's a lot of comparisons or a lot of phrases in here that talk about how lucky parents are to have wise children and how unfortunate it is for parents to have children who are fools. It says that about grandparents as well. So this idea of family and relying on each other and how the family members affect one another seems to be an important part of culture at the time that this was written. I really did find verse 12 to be very interesting. Better to meet a she-bear robbed of its cubs than to confront a fool immersed in folly. When I read that, I think contextually of times when you go to impart knowledge or wisdom in someone who is, for instance, emotionally upset or frustrated. And really, it's not wise to confront someone with something that they need to change when they're already upset, because they're just not going to listen. So when I hear the she-bear robbed of its cubs, I think of an emotional, upset, mad, angry, threatened individual. And so that's what I compare it to in our humans. The beginning of strife is like letting out water. This is verse 14. So stop before the quarrel breaks out. I can almost imagine like a canteen or an old leather bag that has a hole in it. And if you don't, stop it really quick, then all of a sudden you run out of water and your life can be put in danger if you don't have a lot of water and you're traveling. So that's the imagery that I see in that one. And verse 22, I recognize, I believe I've even seen it like on t-shirts or something like that. It's a common phrase I hear people say, a cheerful heart is a good medicine, but a downcast spirit dries up the bones. I believe that's trying to say, if you act happy, if you act joyful, then it will affect you, and it will affect your health and wellness and body. And if you are negative, then it will dry up the bones. It will sap your energy. So I wonder what kind of truth there is in that. I'd love to hear your opinion. Just a couple of items from our Jewish Study Bible today. We're given a note that when people took an animal to the temple as a sacrifice, they brought most of the meat back home for feasting. So it was better a crust of bread than a luxurious banquet at which there is quarreling. Even if you've taken, the feast is from the offering that you have given to God. It doesn't matter how much you've given to God. If there's still quarreling in your family, then it's better that you just have a piece of bread and not go sacrifice to the Lord. In verse 3, here we get kind of the idea of that God will test us and purify us through trouble. And this is a piece of theology that I can see where it's coming from, but I think it's dangerous to apply it and to use it. So the notes exactly say a furnace tests or assays and purifies ore by heating it until pure silver or gold melts and rises where it can be separated from the heavier dross. The analogy then implies more than God's just looking into the heart. It implies a painful test to prove the purity of the sufferer's faithfulness. I know that this idea has gotten people through many a challenge in their own life if they think that it's given to them by God to strengthen them. But again, I think it can be a dangerous thought when we look at the hardships and abuse that happen to people and identify it as a way that God is trying to test our honor and test our faith. All right. Let me see what else we want to pull out of our notes. The word messenger in verse 11, a ruthless messenger will be sent against an evil man. That word messenger, malach, is an angel, can be translated as an angel. So it is God's messenger who comes to take care of the evil ones. Fools are not only a nuisance, they are dangerous. In 12, that's where we get the sooner meet a bereaved she-bear than a fool with their nonsense. And let's see, anything more? Yes, in the last two verses, 27 and 28, the value, the idea of the cool spirit, sorry, I had to look that one up. is also from Egyptian wisdom as well. So again, we're seeing ancient Egyptian wisdom influence the passages in Proverbs, the idea of cool of spirit. The wise man is cool, retaining their repose and controlling their mouth even under provocation. So there's a little bit of wisdom for you today. I think I might even use the idea of the she-bear separated from her cubs in our children's moment this coming up Sunday. So if you are watching this and you haven't checked out our Sunday services, be sure to go ahead and tune in to our Sunday services. There will be a link here on Facebook to our YouTube, and you are invited to join us online or in person at 10:30 on Sunday. All right, I'll see you then, and then back on Monday as we continue our study of Proverbs. God bless you. Bye-bye.